Hello, welcome to a new episode of Mostly Engineering, and let's finish our electronics toolbox. So, welcome to this episode, and today I finally want to finish the electronics toolbox. Functionally, it's already working, but there are still some aesthetic issues we need to address, so let's take a look at the box and see what we still have to do. So, and here we have the electronics toolbox as we left it from the last video. The only thing I did so far is put this Blade Runner inspired label over here that I have on all my toolboxes, and the purple band to mark it as mine. But there are still lots of aesthetic issues that need to be addressed. First, as this is a Festool sustainer, we of course have a big Festool logo over here, an even bigger one on top, and the lock is in this nice Festool green. Usually a look I really like, but for an electronics toolbox this feels somewhat wrong. So what we are going to do is cut some laser engraved acrylic plates to cover the logos, and then I already ordered a replacement lock in red, and this will give the whole thing a lot nicer, more fitting color scheme. The next issue we have to address are the USB ports, and as you can see, the edge over here is a little bit crooked and jagged, somehow like someone just hacked it out with a jigsaw, because that's exactly what I did. And also this thing doesn't sit in the center, so it looks a little bit off. And to rectify this, we will do what you usually do, is just put a frame to cover all these crimes, and also design the frame in a way that looks much more central than this thing can actually be. And to round everything off, we will do some nice labeling to make it look more interesting, to make it look like it has a much longer history than it actually has. And with this, we will be finished. So let's get started. So, and here we have the finished parts, our 3D printed frame and the cut acrylic. And all these parts need now is a little bit of cleanup and then a coat of paint, and they are ready to install into our box. So, and here we have the plates, and as you can see, I fucked it up a little bit. Main problem was that the thinner to wipe off the excess oil paint also started to eat away the white paint, and then every try and solve this problem just made everything worse, as you can clearly see. So we need a little bit different approach. And for the small plate, this approach was 3D printing, and you see now we have a really nice surface over here, really nice and shiny, and also a really nice even surface down in the lettering. What with the laser engraving, the surface down here gets really rough. What was especially ugly in these large surfaces over here. And I achieved this also that you don't see any layer lines by printing this piece parallel to the print bed. And so the surface you see is actually the surface of our FEP film. And this is a nice, usually not the recommended method, because doing it this way, the backside of your print gets really wonky, and you also increase chances of print failure by quite a lot. But we will send off this side, and I only care about this side. So in this instance, this was the right call rather than angle it for a little bit more printing success. And with the big plate, it also occurred to me that this is a plate that will take the brunt force when we put another sustainer on top of our electronics toolbox. And over time, the paint we will put on here will scratch, and then it starts to look ugly. So we need a different solution over here. And what I came up with is very simple. I just printed our design on a piece of paper, and then we will put a piece of clear polystyrene on top of it, and from the back side soak the paper with some airbrush cleaner, what is essentially model glue, more or less exactly the same, but in a cheaper packaging. And the glue will soak through the paper and will then glue the paper very evenly to our piece of plastic. Then we put it in, and so all our print is now saved from scratches or impact by the plastic itself. So let's do that. So, and here we have the plate, and it didn't work out as all the small scale tests. Sticking such large area of paper to the polystyrene didn't work out that nice, so we have some areas on the edges where the paper didn't glue, and we had to use a lot of glue, and as you see on the electronics toolkit or here, too much glue for the paint to still properly stick. So we have another ruined part, and this is a little bit of a problem because this box has to be finished today, the video has to go up today, and because for the coming weeks I won't have time to do anything here. So I thought to myself, okay, let's just cut the losses and do just a neutral colored plate. So I took the ruined acrylic plate, painted it white on one side, and started sanding off the excess cyanoacrylate glue so that we can glue it properly. And then this started to emerge. And yes, happy accidents do occur because this was not what I was going for, but it looks really nice. 2 red tones. And then we have the sanding dust in the lettering that I can't get out no matter what I try. But it gives it a nice contrast. It looks a little bit weathered, so I'm really happy with this look. And this is what we are going to use. So let's stick everything to the box and then show you the final reveal. So, and our electronics toolbox is finally finished, and I'm really happy how it came out. Even so, it was not exactly how I envisioned it at first, but sometimes these things just happen, stuff goes wrong, and you have to adapt your plans. What you also probably noticed is that I didn't do as much labels as I promised in the beginning, for the simple reason that I just simply ran out of time. And instead of giving it a fake history, this box will now require a real one over the next coming projects, and in the end that's probably even better. So, and while we are now watching this nice montage of a not at all staged use case of this box, it's finally time to end the show. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, comments, as always, let them down below, and I try to answer them as quickly and correctly as possible. And all I have to say now is thanks for watching, and see you guys the next time. Bye bye.